been up in the top 5 all race long, slipped back just a little bit. He brings it home in 7th. Dylan Bigley brings it home in 8th. He's got to hustle, get ready to go for 125 laps in the super late models. Another top 10 run for the 92 of Joe Winchell, and Matthew Green in the number 44 rounding out the top 10.
Taking a look at beyond the top 10, 11th place, Jason Bartram in the 73B. Daniel Webster, tell you, just a lot happening to him tonight, as well as early race leader James Seawright. It looked like he was going to be the one to beat at the beginning right there, but he does fall on hard times. Dan Bartolo, 14th, and rounding out the 15th spot, again, another one up at the front of the pack, running in the runner-up spot for a long time, Adam Briggs.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys on this this page not having the night that they were hoping for. You had Cody Crucker finish in 17th, Chris Huntoon rather in 16th, Crucker in 17th. Joey Watkins finishes in 18th, Steve Barnes 19th. 20th place finish tonight for the 9 of Brooke Storr. Tough break for her tonight as well. Parks and Long, big shout out to them for stepping up and sponsoring this race again. Appreciate them. Cody Brusso, 21st. Brandon Strevels was 22nd. And Richie Anderson, who went for the ride of the night, ends up 23rd.
A few of those yeah. in that 75 lap race.
I hope Richie had a GoPro, because that is going to be some incredible video.
Must-see. That is must-see stuff. Again, there you see Bubba Pollard, as he will be on the pole for the Davidson Electric 125. Take a look right there. All of that dew on the windshield, fog rolling into the back straightaway, and that's how Bubba's going to start the race. You see, they're ready to wipe that down.
Yeah, I was going to say,
they're going to have to battle that all night long.
You think that was? You think that's maybe a veteran move there? You think maybe he's been here a time or two? Maybe knows what to do. We've got our onboard shot with Pit Row TV, taking a look on the onboard camera. We're going to check in with that throughout the night. This is going to be some awesome shots, courtesy of our Pit Row TV onboard camera. Looks like we're going to be riding tonight with Michael Atwell. Two-time.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, two-time defending winner of the Bill Bigley Senior Memorial at 417. How about 1 year you outduel Rich Bickle in his penultimate right there leading up to the end of his career before he went and ran the Derby for one final time. And then last year, battling with Ty Majeski down there. Majeski, unfortunately, gets thrown out in Tech, but for the second year in a row, Atwell gets to cash the big check. He's going to be hopefully giving us some great shots tonight. Very disappointing end of the night for the one of Daniel Webster, as they are working to get that number 1 car onto the flatbed. And, Ronnie, you mentioned it, the rear end. That's what that looks to me.
And there is another shot right there as you see the fog rolling in. That is looking up towards our broadcast position. You see the lights right there. That really enhances it even more. So that is what the drivers will be dealing with as we get ready to commence the Davidson Electric 125, race number 3 of the SRL Super Late Model Series here in 2023. $15,000 on the line to the winner. $1,000 to start, and you've got bonus money rolling out in this one. You've got a $500 halfway bonus from Phoenix Construction. You've got Gulf Coast Graphics with a hard charger award of $500. The pros that are involved in this one as well. $1,000 to the highest finishing pro. Another tweet right there, and again, at Pit Row TV, at SRL, use that hashtag Davidson Electric 125. Kim Bird checking in, and I think that's probably the consensus of a lot of folks. Go Bubba Pollard, watching from Ewell, Alabama.
I know. I think there's one guy out in the crowd. I know he made a long trip here to cheer on his man, Bubba Pollard. I bet TJ's got to be out there in the crowd somewhere. I mean, he was front row center there for the Rattler win a couple of weeks ago. Here we have mentioned him earlier. Tyler Brooks, son of Ricky Brooks, serving our country overseas in the Middle East. Tagging DGM Racing, George Gorham Jr. in the SRL National, as well as Richmond Raceway. Tuning in from the Middle East. Congrats to Dad in the SRL Series on another event, and throwing up the emoji there. And thank you, Tyler, for all you're doing. We can't wait to get you back home again, buddy.
Absolutely. Great stuff right there. Getting set as we get set for the Davidson Electric 125. Let's take a look at your starting lineup. Fast. Oh, sorry about that.
We're going to take a look right now. The number 1 at Daniel Webster. They're still trying to get him off the racetrack. But We do hear super late models in the background as some of the cars have started to roll out onto the speedway. And we'll get ready to take a look at our starting lineup. What a field of super late models and pro late models. Remember, this is kind of a combination event.
Bonus.
Big $1,000 bonus for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup, Rodney.
Here is your starting lineup. On the point, it will be Bubba Pollard, and there will be a lot of people cheering for him, as you see right there on Twitter. Hunter Robbins to the outside of row number 1. Row 2 on the inside, Dylan Bigley, double duty, quickly into the black number 28. Position number 4, outside of row number 2, it'll be Stephen Nasse.
Starting from the inside of row number 3, the 5th spot's going to be the number 9 of Hudson Halder. Young Jake Finch in the 51F. The Phoenix Construction entry, he's going to start from the 6th spot. It'll be Jet Nolan on the inside of row number 4 in the number 50 machine. And it'll be Casey Roderick on the outside of the 18C, starting 8th.
Position number 9 inside, Chris Davidson. On the outside, George Gorham Jr. We've had a couple of tweets there for George Gorham as well. He'll start in position number 10.
Yeah.
Looking at position number 11, Michael Goddard. And on the outside, it'll be Dustin Smith.
Going to have Cody Crucker also running double duty, having to quickly jump behind the wheel of his Super. He'll start 13th. Tony Elrod's going to roll off from the 14th spot. Michael Atwell, who's going to be carrying our Pit Row TV onboard camera, which you see right now in the background, he's going to start 15th. 16th is going to be the 20 of Harrison Halder.
Starting 17th this evening for the Davidson Electric 125, Colin Allman on the outside. Howard Langham starting 19th. Well, it won't be Ethan Barker, as he will not be able to make it, so we'll bump up Elliott Massey starting 19th. And starting 20th on the field will be A.J. Waller.
Rounding out the field is going to be the number 22 of Dylan Courtney, 29T of Trent Williams, and you're going to have the number 12 of Chris Hogan. And rounding out the field is going to be the 4H of Holt Halder. That's how they're going to line up. 24 cars getting ready to go for 125 laps. There's the view from inside the Universal Transmission number 55 of Naples, Florida's Michael Atwell. And there you see, having to deal with that fog, and he's going to have his hands full. We'll be curious to see how that changes throughout the race. We're going to hopefully be able to keep checking in on this onboard camera as we get ready to send it down to Matt as we're ready to get this one underway. Matt, what you got?
Not going to take the whole low-hanging fruit, if you will, with Bubba Pollard, Casey Roderick, and Stephen Nasse. A driver you're going to want to watch for is a driver starting in 10th, and that black number 10, George Gorham Jr., one of only 2 drivers to make a start in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. He's going to start in 10th, and expect that black number 10 to move his way up through the field.
6-tire race for these teams, so they have 6 tires for this event. You'll have a halfway break around lap number 75. And don't forget about that competition yellow. If you get 40 laps continuous at the beginning of the race, you'll have a competition yellow. So let's take a look and see what happens. We had a lot of yellow flags there in that Sportsman race. Let's see how these supers handle the start of this race.
And remember, another key note, no competition caution within the last 15 laps. So you have to keep an eye on that. What will the strategy be for these teams if we do get an early caution? Are you going to change your tires then, or do you want to maybe save it for a little bit later on? The Rattler race was pretty cut and dry. You had a midway, halfway break. It was pretty simple. Come in, change your tires, go out and run the remaining 125 laps. Tonight, going to have to kind of figure out when do you want to make the move depending on when these cautions fall.
Here we are bringing them around as we continue to pace under yellow. As we said, this is race number 3 on the 2023 SRL Super Late Model season. That man right there was your winner at the Rattler 250 at South Alabama Speedway a few weeks back. Bubba Pollard, fast time here tonight. He will look to duplicate that feat. That is your series leader. And again, remember, a very different scenario here with the SRL Super Late Model National Series. It's not based on points, it's based on money. So if the 26 car is able to survive this evening, odds are good that he will leave here as the series leader once again.
Yeah, Jacob Gomes got the big win out in California earlier this year. He also took home $25,000. But remember, Bubba was at that race.
That's right.
Got the start money. That little bit of money is what the difference is between the 26 of Pollard and Gomes. There you see, $650. That's all that separates them. No Ty Majeski here tonight. No Jeremy Doss or John Moore. Can have an opportunity for guys like Davidson, Nolan, Atwell, and Finch to move up the leaderboard here tonight, depending on the type of night they have. But everybody's going to be chasing that 26 of Pollard, as he has been the man to beat here at Mobile over the course of his career, and all weekend long he has set the pace, practice, and qualifying earlier here today.
25 late model wins is what you have. And take a look right there. On board with Michael Atwell once again. Believe this is the first time at this level of racing that we have ever had an onboard on a super late model. Take a look at that view right there as they come down to take the one to go at the line.
Tony Stevens and our folks at Pit Row TV and, of course, Speed Sport along for the ride as well. What a shot. What a shot out of the front, looking at the view of what Michael Atwell has to see. There you see on the outside of what he's doing there, trying to get a little heat in those tires. Rodney, it's time to go racing for 125 laps.
And $15,000 on the line. First 25 laps, free preview on Facebook. Check it out as we get set to go. The action is about to pick up. Bubba Pollard and Hunter Robbins on the front row. Green flag in the air from David Corbello. We're racing into Davidson Electric 125. Side by side into turn number 1 they go. You're on board with Michael Atwell once again as he races through corners number 1 and 2. Look at the fireworks up on the top side. Battle up at the front. Hunter Robbins up on the top side. Here comes Bubba Pollard. BP takes a peek down on the bottom at the quarter panel, but it's Robbins. Great drive off of turn number 4. He'll lead lap number 1.
Hunter Robbins takes the early race lead. He puts the 26 of Pollard back to second. Right back in the middle of everything. Here's Atwell. You see the 33 of Smith in front of him. Deep in the battle as they go down the back straightaway and arc it down into turns 3 and 4. Incredible onboard camera shots here. You're watching live right now on Pit Row TV as we are live here at the SRL National Race at Mobile International Speedway. Hunter Robbins out in front, showing the way early on here with still a long, long way to go.
That is your ride or your view from the 14th position, and that's how fast everything happens. You see Smith go right in front of him, but here we go to the front. Battle happening now for the second spot. Bubba Pollard is there. Here comes Stephen Nasse. 3-car breakaway at the front of the pack. Down the back straightaway they go. They dance all together. Nasse taking a peek down up on the top side. Pollard holding down on the bottom. Out of turn 4. Hunter Robbins holding on. The heartbreak that we saw at the Rattler. It looked like he was going to be first or second in that race. He hand grenades a motor. Not able to finish that race, but here he is at the front in that Ronnie Sanders livery. Gotta love seeing that car up at the front of the pack.
You want to talk about 3 drivers that know how to get it done here in the Southeast? Well, we're going to have a yellow flag coming out. Caution is on the speedway. Robbins, Pollard, and Nasse setting the early pace as our first yellow flag is out. These 3 have been on a tear the last few years. And we talk about, the rivalry being renewed between Casey Roderick and Bubba Pollard in recent weeks. Let's not forget about the 51 of Nasse. He and Pollard have had some run-ins in the past before. Maybe clean things up a little bit in the past few years, but don't sleep on that. These are some hungry drivers up here at the front of the field. And the 18 of Robbins, coming off of a Southern Super Series championship last year, he's hungry to get back to victory lane, and he'd love to do it here tonight at Mobile.
Top 5 as they run. It's Robbins up on the point. Pollard rides in second. Nasse there in third. Casey Roderick and Jake Finch sitting in the 5th spot as they make their way around as we ride under caution here, just underway, 121 to go, and it looks like it is the 29 T of Trent Williams as he sits way up at the top, and here we go again, Jake. This one not quite the runoff that we saw in some of the other stuff, but the Irvington, Alabama driver sits as well, driver's side first, up against that concrete retaining wall. Hopefully everything will be easier to get him out of that mess over there.
Well, you heard Richie Anderson say in the Sportsman race earlier that as soon as that car went off track and got onto that grassy area, it picked up speed. There was no slowing that thing down. I'm going to be curious to see. It does look like Trent has exited the race car. Looks like he's standing up on top of the wall there, surveying everything. I've got to think with the way that car's sitting there, that thing probably took a pretty hard lick.
Absolutely. Now we go back, and that looks like that's Jake Finch machine.
Jake Finch has got the hood up.
They are under the hood of that one, and they are taking pieces out of there. Now the hood laying all the way back, so early trouble right here for one of our early pre-race contenders. We talked about Jake Finch earlier in the evening. One of the guys that we had kind of penciled in there is maybe a favorite, and it looks like they are going into the carburetor area as they're working there right under the air cleaner. So interesting to see what may be going on. And the thing about it with this, Jake, is they can do that. They're not losing any laps. So if they feel something's amiss, something isn't right on that Phoenix Racing entry, go in there, take care of it right now, because you're going to have an extended yellow because that car's still sitting up on the top side. Let's go down to the pits with Matt.
And standing alongside Jake Finch is Phoenix Racing Chevrolet. A belt broke on the opening lap. They pulled him in. For them, fortunately, the caution flag came out, so it gives them a little time to put a new belt on. He sent him right back out, guys.
Thank you, Matt, and appreciate everybody that's tuning in right now on Pit Road TV, or rather on Facebook, getting the free preview. First 25 laps of this event are going to be free. If you want to go over and subscribe, head to pitroad.tv and go get signed up and get your subscription picked up, and you can check out all of the SRL Sportsman races the rest of the year, as well as checking in here for the SRL National race tonight as they are working. If Ronnie, you said if you're going to have problems, have it early. You have the opportunity to work on the car, make some adjustments to get things fixed. There you see here in the SRL National Series, 5 career starts for Jake Finch, a top 5 and 2 top 10 finishes. But not off to a great start here tonight, but they're working hard to try to get Jake back out there again.
And he will have to chase from the back of the pack, because that is the one thing, as we said, no laps being lost here by Jake Finch and the Phoenix Racing team, but they will go shotgun on the field for going to the back of the pack as that work continues. And changing the belt, that it sounds like a very easy task, but it is not an easy task. If you've tried to do it on your passenger car, you know how hard that can be, and that's exactly what they're going through. And you can see them really digging in there. It's taken 2 guys to get in there and try to cinch that thing back and get the new belt on, and just trying to twist that thing into the position it needs to be.
Well, they're working hard to try to get the 51F of Jake Finch back out on the speedway. Don't believe we've had much progress down in turn number 1 with the 29C of Trent Williams, unable to get him unstuck over there as well, which has been a unfortunate theme for the night so far. But again, just 5 laps into this one. How about that start by Robbins? A lot of people, I think Hunter seems to be the kind of guy that kind of flies under the radar a little bit, but looks like he's off to a good start. Let's send it back down to the pits once again.
And after extensive more digging, it turns out it is a water pump belt on the number 51 machine. They're getting that replaced, and hopefully to send it back out before the green flag comes back out, guys.
And the thing is, Matt and Jake, they have time, because we're still working over there. As you mentioned a while ago, not a lot of progress. So this is something where they can go in there. And the other part of this, with the extended delay, they can go in there and make sure they're doing it right. I mean, a lot of times you get in here.
You rush.
Yeah. And something's going to get missed. And that can be something like that right there. A simple screw.
Little details.
That's right. Something like that can get you in a lot of trouble. So very fortunate for them. Not so fortunate in that they're having to do it, but fortunate with the timing of it. But yes, as you were talking about, a great start there for Hunter Robbins as he just powered away from Bubba Pollard right there. It was very interesting to see that. But as I mentioned, we saw him. We saw him there at the Rattler. It's that Ronnie Sanders Racing bunch. They've put some good horses under Hunter Robbins, and here he is up at the front of the pack. Let's see if he can continue that. But take a look at that top 5. Pollard sits in the 2nd spot. There's Nassy, there's Roderick, and obviously not Finch. Now Bigley. But talking about these guys, go back over a decade, like you were just saying. That's the cream of the crop right there.
These are the names. These are the names that sell the tickets that all these fans want to come out and watch. This is why you're tuning in on Pit Road TV, because you've got the Hunter Robbins of the world, the Bubba Pollards, the Stephen Nassys, the Casey Rodericks, and a lot of these Central Florida drivers that a lot of times wouldn't necessarily get the publicity racing just locally at their local track, getting a chance to venture out, run on this SRL National Tour several times now here this year. It's a great sign. A lot of guys that I've seen that have worked their way up through the ranks and had some success locally in Florida starting to branch out now and starting to run some of these bigger, faster tracks.
And it really has been impressive to watch. Not just here down south, but I don't want to say resurgence of super late model racing. I think what it's actually done, it has blown itself up to where you have this series, but at the same time you go to the Midwest and you have tremendous racing in the Midwest. You have great racing over on the left coast, on the West Coast. So many great drivers that come out of there. And it really is where when we have these national events, it does give us the actual super late model national racer we're wanting to see. Let's go back to Twitter. You can tweet us at Pit Road, at SRL Racing. Use that hashtag Davidson Electric 125. Amanda Shirley Brooks checking in. She's going to Casey Roderick. Going for Casey Roderick right there, hashtagging the Davidson Electric 125. And you had to think when you saw Casey Roderick added to the entry list that that was going to be something where here you go. Another superstar coming into Mobile.
Yep. And getting powered up and getting teamed up this year with Anthony Campy Racing, kind of a combined effort between the Platinum Express group. Jen Brinson again watching us again. So much talent in this SRL National race. Let's go Pit Road TV. Can our Florida guys bring it home? I think certainly. There's definitely some guys that have a chance in this one, but that guy from Sonoya, Georgia, is pretty good.
There's a Georgia Bulldog in there.
He's
literally
good.
that is not going to go away without a fight, and we'll see. But that's why we're running 125 laps, $15,000 on the line, $1,000 to start. This has just been a great weekend of action here. Just every aspect of it. SRL doing a great job putting this event together. This Pit Road TV coverage has been amazing as well. It's just been a good time.
Okay, so I have a vote for an MVP of the night. It's that tractor. That tractor. It helped swap the motor of the 19 of Kevin Macy. You should have seen it pushing all the water out earlier down on pit road. Now, you know what? If we can't get the car away from the wall, let's just move the wall, and then we'll just push the car out that way.
And I believe that tractor also pulled Dustin Smith's engine last night.
Yeah.
So they took the bucket off and just used the forks. And, there we go. I like that. Just put it over to the backside. Just sit back there.
So what is this telling racetracks around the country?
Mm-hmm. Get a tractor.
Get you one of these.
And even better, go get you a tractor sponsor.
Yes.
Get you a tractor sponsor, and that will make it, I don't know if you get one like that on the cheap, but cheaper.
Yes,
cheaper would be the key.
We're getting our money's worth tonight, that's for sure. As you see Trent Williams there surveying as they're getting ready to unhook his number 29 machine. Tough start to the night for him, just 5 laps in.
120 to go. And gone is one scenario we talked about with some of our race procedures. If we had 40 continuous laps at the beginning of this race, you would have a competition caution. Obviously, we've had a caution right here, but we still will race. And this is something else we talked about early during qualifying. Something that's going to be interesting to me is you have that halfway break around lap 75, and then on lap 78, you have a $2,000 bonus. How about that?
Who's going to be? You want to be the leader on that lap for sure.
That's right. Showing him one at the line that time. We are set to go. The pace car taking him down the backstretch one final time before we turn him loose and get set to go once again. It is Casey Roderick on the inside. Now I did.
We're going to be doing it all night. I'm sorry. I started it.
Hunter Robbins on the inside. Bubba Pollard up on the top. Row number 2 inside. Stephen Massey on the outside. The 18 of Casey Roderick. We are set as they approach the restart zone. Here we go. You got 20 laps remaining in your free preview as the green flag waves over the Davidson Electric 125 at Mobile International Speedway. Down into the corner they go. Once again, great power move by Robbins down on the inside. Here's Massey at the quarter panel, now up to the door. Let's dive it down into turn number 3. Roderick sits there behind him. Look up on the top side. Here comes the Jet Nolan as he tries to work up on the top shelf at the line. Hunter Robbins holding on, but the drag race for second position.
It's Robbins with the race lead, but it's Massey and Pollard side by side, second and third. Right behind them, the 18 of Casey Roderick lurks. Jet Nolan up into the top 5, getting around the 28 of Dylan Bigley. Michael Goddard settling in the 7th spot. George Gorham Jr. right behind them in the number 10. As the field starts to string out just a little bit, everybody's starting to sort things out, getting single file up front for the time being. As we go on board once again with the 55 of Naples, Florida's Michael Atwell. He's on the inside of the 33 of Dustin Smith.
Atwell right there. What a fantastic view you have right here with Pit Road TV and Speed Sport on board with Michael Atwell. You see him all over the backside right there of that race car in front of him. To the back straightaway we go, and there you see that fog once again. That lurking fog there seems heavier on the back straightaway where you have that back there. And let's take a look and see if that factors in as we continue to ride on board. That is down the front straightaway, now making his way into turn number 1. He'll go all the way down to the yellow line. We go back up to the front of the pack. It continues to be Hunter Robbins hanging on. He's got about a half a car length, but here comes Stephen Massey. It's 1 car length back to Bubba Pollard. Casey Roderick in the 18, rounding out the top 5 is Jet Nolan.
Yeah, I feel like the visibility difficult when you're coming out of turn number 4 and having to stare up into the lights, getting the glare and the reflection coming back off of that, as it looks like Nassie's sick of riding in second. He's going to stick a nose to the inside. And Pinellas Park, Florida's Stephen Nassie looks to take the lead. He's got Robbins to his outside. He's got the lead. Pollard's going to try to follow through and take second.
And he does indeed. He is free and clear. Casey Roderick trying to get to the quarter panel as well. We go to the back straightaway. They say single file. Here's Casey Roderick taking a peek down on the bottom. It'll be 113 laps to go this time by. Brand new race leader Stephen Nassie right there as he paces the field here in the Davidson Electric 125 at Mobile International Speedway. Now we go back. Speaking of Davidson, there is Chris Davidson in car number 14. He's right in front of our camera car. Now Michael Atwell, you're looking at the backside there of Chris Davidson as we race down into the corner. And here he'll try to dive up, try to get up to the backside right there. Davidson back on the gas. There's Atwell out of Naples, Florida. These are amazing pictures you're seeing on Pit Road TV.
This is the tail end of the top 10 that you're seeing right now, riding on board with Michael Atwell out in front here. We're going to check back just a little bit here. One spot behind them. This is 11th. That's going to be the number 9 of Halder right ahead of them. We go back up front again. Nassie continuing to show the way. There are the pair of 18s. Robbins in the red and black, the Ronnie Sanders ride. Roderick behind them in the black 18, teaming up again with Anthony Campy. And how about the 50 of Jet Nolan right behind them? Nolan, a top 5 finish back at the Rattler. Just want to remind everybody, you got just 10 laps to go with a free preview. Head on over to pitrow.tv, get your subscription, get signed up, and you can ride along for the final 100 laps with us here tonight for the SRL National Series live at Mobile International Speedway.
And lots of racing left to go as this is only going to heat up more the longer that we go. Here they are single file racing down the front straightaway once again. There's Roderick right behind the other 18, Hunter Robbins. Bubba Pollard riding about a car length and a half back of Stephen Nassie. Here's Roderick taking a higher line out of corner number 2. Now he'll get back in line behind Robbins once again. Nolan right there, Bigley behind in the 28, but here comes the 37. We watch Michael Goddard over at the Rattler, the last SRL race, methodically work his way up into the top 5. Here he is again knocking on the door as he's up to the back bumper of Dylan Bigley. Watch that 37 car.
Keeping an eye on this third place battle. There's Dylan Bigley and Michael Goddard. Curious to see who is pushing the envelope right now. Who's just kind of out there riding right now, setting a pace, trying to figure out what they can do, what they can't do with their race car, and see if the car continues to change as this long run continues to develop. 107 laps to go. Nassie keeping that lead pretty steady. Pollard not letting him get out of his sights.
And back on board with Atwell once again as he works to the backside there of Chris Davidson. Davidson in the 14 car. Atwell staying in line right there, taking a peek, about a half a groove lower. Let's see if he tries to work there. It is Roderick, though. We go back up to the front. Casey Roderick, a pass for third. So now the black 18, the Campy car. It is Casey Roderick. Now he will set his sights on Bubba Pollard as Stephen Nassie continues to take off. 5 laps left in your free preview. 5 laps left. If you're liking what you see and you don't have a subscription to Pit Road TV, go get it right now and you can watch the end of this as Stephen Nassie leads over Bubba Pollard, Roderick Robbins, Nolan continuing to hang on to the 5th spot.
The Platinum Express of Casey Roderick up into third, and now his attention turns to the back bumper of the number 26 of Bubba Pollard. We see the rivalry, so you can see up through, if you're looking through the front windshield of Michael Atwell, you can see the leaders just up there at the front there as we've got 104 laps to go in this one as we're getting down to it here on our free preview. Again, head over to Pit Road TV, get your subscription, and ride along with us for the final 100 laps in this one. As you see Dustin Smith getting to the inside of Hudson Halder. The 67 of Colin Allman right there as well, and the 27 of Cody Crucker.
Dustin Smith talked about him as well. That is another car. Had to get a new heart put in it last night. He had problems, broke a crankshaft, and here he is in a different with a different engine. I believe that is actually out of the Max Calles super late model that he has under the hood of that car. Here is Allman. Allman, he's got company up on the top side. Guys, this is it right here. Your preview is about to end. Get over and get that subscription right now to watch the end of the Davidson Electric 125. Get your subscription now.
100 laps to go here this next time by. You got to get on to Pit Road TV if you want to see. There's our leader, Stephen Nassie and Bubba Pollard. So be sure to tune in on Pit Road TV to see how things shake out here with 100 laps to go.
The back straightaway we go. Continues to be Nassi. That interval continues to fluctuate. 0.3 of a second the last time by. It was down to about 1/10 a couple of laps ago, but now Nassi able to get away a little bit. Remember, lap 75 or right there around lap number 75 will